Yeah, hi my friends. Well, it's September the 9th, 2018, and it's the first day that it's been comfortable. For the last 2 months, every day that I've gone shooting, I've had to shoot with no t-shirt on, no shirt on. Just slimy sweat coming off you, but at least you're not, stuck together. Like wearing a t-shirt would just be like, well, terribly uncomfortable. So this has been the most humid summer we ever had, and I just didn't want to go out. Anyhow, today it's comfortable, and what we're going to do is again, we're going to use a body size target. I consider this kind of a target to be really, if you can hit anywhere on this, I consider it to be a bullseye, because the guy's gone, so that's one thing. Now we're going to use a style today where we're going to cant the bow at exactly 45 degrees. Exactly 45 degrees. Because this is a little trough. And just like if we were going to shoot a rocket, we would put it in a trough to shoot it. But we're going to hold this bow at exactly 45 degrees and put the arrow in the trough. Okay? The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to cover the tip, or we're going to put the tip right on the target. We're going to cover the target with the tip. In the end, when we get all the way back, then we will lower it. But if we start with the tip on, it's going to be on the line. All we have to do is get the rest of the body lined up. So we're going to put that bow at exactly 45 degrees, and we're going to put the tip on the target. Also, I'm going to turn my head slightly so that my dominant eye comes onto the target. Okay, so I'm going to turn my head slightly. That's when I will place my feet, and I will put my right foot behind the left and slightly around. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now, when we draw, we're going to come back to just beside the corner of the mouth. We're not going to touch the corner of our mouth unless we feel like it, because we're out lined up that way, but generally it's going to be slightly to the right. That's how it gets under my eye. Okay, so the reason I really go to that position though is, see where my eye is in that spot? So I'm coming back so that I'm actually lined up to my eye, not so much the corner of my mouth, because once that arrow is here, right by your eye, that's when you can tell if it's left or right. That's when you relax and aim. Right beside your eye, which is just back around the corner of your mouth. And the reason why we're going up to the corner of our mouth today is because we're not going to go all the way back to full draw. You'll notice that when we're going to full draw, we're straining, we're pulling, we're stacking that bow, we're just juicing it up. Well, today what we're going to do actually is move the anchor from back here by the ear up to here by the eye, so that we can line it up a little bit better. Okay, so that's another thing. People always talk about an anchor, but they don't tell you why. Get it by your eye. You'll be able to see. So that's another thing. When that happens, then I'm just going to relax my right arm. Extremely important to have your right arm relaxed. If it's not relaxed, you're not hitting nothing anyhow. Period. Relax that arm. You let that arm fall in behind, because when the bow gets back to about here, there's enough pressure in that bow to straighten you out. But if you try to straighten out or aim from up here, it's flaccid. It's not going to do it. So those are the steps that we're taking. Okay, so again, eye on, back foot on, cover the target, get the bow at exactly 45 degrees, draw back to parallel to your eye, right by the corner of your mouth, relax your right arm, now lower it to the gap and let her go. That's what we're going to do today. Oh, and also, because I'm shortening the draw from here to here, I'm losing weight. What you're going to see happening is the hand is going to go pop. I'm going to be pushing at the end. Boom. It's what I would call the European cantrip, you know. When I let go, I'm going to do that. Punch the target. And also, as I've shown you so many times, that you can, as long as you're on the power line, you can let go. But this time, what we're really going to do is get it back here and relax, and we're just going to let the hand go plop. I call it the plop, you know. It's just going to stay here. It's not going to do anything. My hand is just going to come off, and I'm going to initiate the release with the left hand by pushing, and it's just going to go plop. Anyhow, that's about it. So let's go do some shooting and have some fun. Back in a minute. Okay, guys. It's really important to cover the target with your arrow tip. One time I was watching Howard Hill, and he's shooting at a plate, and just before he shoots, his arrow goes down and off it goes. I think that's what he was doing. You know, that's what I'm doing, and I'm telling you that it works. Just for fun. It works. Okay, be back in a sec. How about anchoring on your own anchor? Why do you have to anchor what people tell you? What's so magic about the corner of the mouth? I'll tell you a little trick. If you shoot to the right, you're anchoring too far to the left. If you shoot to the left, you're anchoring too far to the right. If you always touch the same spot, and you're always shooting to the right, then stop touching that spot and hold it a little more left. Doesn't it make sense? Why do the same thing every damn time when it causes you problems? So that's what I'm going to show you. If you're shooting that way, anchor more this way. Doesn't have to be a special spot like the corner of your mouth. If you're shooting to the right all the time, just simply bring your anchor this way, rather than buying new arrows and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Just change your form slightly. Okay? So what I'm doing these days is getting back here, letting the hand plop, pushing forward. I'm initiating my release with my left hand, pushing forward. I call it the, what would you call it, Mediterranean cantrip, because I'm shooting off the left side of my bow, so my bow goes like that, but it's still a push. And it gives me power, because seeing that I've shortened my draw from here to here, I need to get the power back. And that's what I do. Anyhow, when you do that, you get some hits. Okay? I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, okay guys, so just so that you understand what I'm doing with my feet, so this arrow is pointing at the target. Now I'm going to lift up my back foot and I'm going to bring it around behind. You see that? So that's how I'm actually standing. Okay, so like so, and then I'm lined up. But that's what I do with my feet, just so that you know. Okay, back in a minute. Boy, it sure is nice that it's cooled down a little bit, I'll tell you that. Sometimes I think weather is about the only thing worth talking about. This politics sure as hell ain't. Don't forget to put that bow at 45. .45, land sakes alive. Don't be careful, get it back. Push. Not in a violent way, just press. Press forward. Okay. Look, I'm going to tell you something. I think it was Mike. Mike was asking me, how do you put the arrow on your bow? So I'll stand over here so you can see. First of all, what you do is balance your bow in your hand, close your hand on it, put your arrow on your hand, take a felt pen, make a little mark so that you can see it. Now what you do, Mike, is you put your arrow on and then you simply line up the arrow to that line and move your hand up to it and it will stay there every time. Okay? So that's how you put the arrow on, Mike. And if you do that, it's consistent enough that you can get some hits like that. Okay, back in a minute. Okay guys, so now we'll set the target up here at 27 yards. And we'll take a couple shots. We'll keep that bow at 45 degrees, you know, the trough. Don't forget the trough. Relax that hand so it just sort of plops on your face. Keep a backwards pressure on the string and press forward with the bow hand. Okay, so keep that bow at 45. Make that little trough. You know, get that V1 rocket right in the trough. Keep the tip covering that target. When you get it straight back, and my anchor, which isn't an anchor, is slightly to the right of my mouth and at the level of my eye. Okay? At that point I just let it fall in behind. And if you can relax enough that your arm actually falls in behind, then you start to get more consistent and you start getting your hits. Okay? Be back in a minute. Okay, folks, so here we are. We're set up here at 30 yards. Got a little bit of a breeze happening. In a way, 30 yards is easier than 20 yards. If I just have the tip of the arrow on his hips, he's gone. Gone to paradise. And I'm not gone to Valhalla. Because traveling by Valkyrie is not the best way to travel. Relax that right arm. Push forward with the left. Okay. So, again, 30 yards is, all I have to do is put the tip on his hips. Now, again, relax that right arm, Just let the pressure in the bow pull it in behind, and you have a chance of getting a good release. Let that hand just relax. It doesn't have to go anywhere. That's what helps. Anyhow, if you do that kind of stuff, and you get your hits. Okay? Back in a minute. Okay, folks, so now we've moved back to 35 yards. Beyond this, it's just into the bush. I can't really elevate enough, so this is about as far as we can shoot, which is okay. It's the right distance for 3D. If you have to adjust your left arm, you have to let the right arm fall in behind it again. It's really important to push forward at this distance. Get that power up. Okay, so again, I'm pushing at the very end. I'm letting my hand stay here, and I'm pushing. It gives me that extra little bit of power. Because, again, as I move my anchor to that imaginary line beside my eye, and I'm allowing that arrow, my eye to float over the arrow. I'm not touching anything. I'm floating, and I can see it straight. And when you do that, you'll get some hits. Okay, so it doesn't matter, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 yards. If you do these kinds of things, you'll get your hits. Be back in a minute. Okay, my friends, so now we've moved up to 22 yards, and we're going to practice what we've been preaching. 45 degrees, covering the target with the tip, coming back to the same distance as our eye. We're going to practice the plop, just relaxing the hand and pushing forward. Concentrate on the center of the target, not the tip, the center of the target. Well, that wasn't a good shot. I hit him, but that wasn't a good shot. So let's just do a little better than that. Not so much talking. Much better. Got to keep that right arm really relaxed. Watch the plop this time. How was that? Was that a plop? It was a hit. .45 degrees. The eye's on, foot's back. Putter up, cover the target. Nice shot, even if I was talking. That's what you got to do. If you got the tip on, it's already on. Okay. Anyhow, I'm out of ammo. I give up. Okay, look. 45 degrees. Keep staring at that target. Bring it back until it's just floating right by the corner of your mouth and at the same distance as your eye. Let this arm just relaxing behind. Lower it. Bang. Let her go. Okay? And if you do that, you'll get some hits. The one on the left was the one I was complaining about, but the others are okay, you know. Nothing like a kidney shot. Anyhow, I'll be back. Have some fun. Okay, folks, so just one more time. We're aiming from a point right beside the eye. We're allowing our hand to relax and fall upon our face. We're pushing forward with our left hand. Hold the bow at 45 degrees. I am using both eyes today. Okay? So look at the target. Bring your back foot, swing it around like I showed you. Cover the tip. Okay? When you bring it back right to here. Right to here. And let this arm just completely relax. Now, lower it to the gap. Let go. That's it. Anyhow, I've told you quite a few times, I figure you should be catching on by now. And when you do that, you get your hits. Okay guys, go have some fun. Take care.